Hello everyone, myself Vinita Tiwari. In this particular video, I will be talking about the light dead staining, which is generally carried out in order to visualize the viability of cells. For example, cytonine and PI are the two fluorophores which are generally used in order to observe the viability of cells. For example, microbial cells are on random basis are generally visualized for their viability by using these two types of stains. Okay, so first of all we will get a general overview about the stains as well as how it works. Okay, so we are seeing two different stains, like one is cytonine and another one is PI. Okay, so first we will talk about PI. Okay, so PI is generally a membrane impermeable DNA binding stains, as well as means cytonine is a membrane permeable DNA binding stain. For example, if I have taken two different cells, one is this one and another one is this one. Okay, the membrane of one of the cells, cell A, is compromised. Compromised in the sense it is fragile or it is uh, fragmented at several points. For example, if you have given any kind of treatment, or if you are visualizing the cells for its in membrane integrity, then in this case you will be visualizing the compromised cells, which are treated ones, and another one is non-compromised. Okay, so this is control cells, cell B. Okay, the word which means the membrane impermeable DNA binding stain is PI. PI is basically going to stain the nucleic acid of the cells which are impermeable. Okay, means which are compromised and it can easily get into the cells and stain the DNA. Okay, whereas cytonine is a stain which can enter both live or dead cells, means it can enter a proper membrane cells or compromised membrane cells. In this case you can see that the cytonine is a membrane permeable stain, it can cross the cells easily. Okay, whereas PI can enter only the impermeable cells. Okay, impermeable cells. Okay, so first of all, in this case, generally a membrane impermeable DNA stain is combined with a membrane permeable DNA binding counter stain. Okay, in order to visualize the viability of cells. Okay, so this is generally a viability staining which involves two different types of stain. One is the membrane impermeable DNA binding stain and another one is the membrane permeable DNA binding stain. Okay, so we have seen that PI can cross only compromised bacterial membrane and is therefore considered to be an indicator of membrane integrity. Along with bacteria, it can cross fungal membrane also. Okay, so it is generally utilized, like PI is generally utilized in order to visualize that whether the membrane integrity is altered or not. Okay, in treated cells. Okay, it stains both DNA and RNA inside of dead cells or the ones with reversibly damaged membrane. Okay, but along with PI, it is usually coupled with a universal stain that can cross the intact membrane and nucleic acids of all cells, thereby enabling to obtain total cell count. In this case, one of the most common example of such stain is cytonine. Okay, so these two different stains are generally used for the study for the viability of microbial cells. Apart from this, you will see that cytostains are generally green fluorescent stains which are available in multiple forms. Okay, so you will see different variants of this stain like 9, 11, 12, like this. There are several stains available on which are differentiated on the basis of its fluorescent characteristics. For example, its excitation emission wavelength will be different for every cytostain. Okay, then its permeability will be different, its fluorescence will be different in the different cytonine variants, cyto variants. Okay, so in this case we will be studying about the cytonine. Okay, talking about the wavelength, Okay, talking about the wavelength. Okay, here we are going to see that cyto9 and pi have their specific excitation and emission wavelength. Okay, excitation and emission wavelength. For example, cyto9 is having excitation at 480, range from 480 to 500 nm, whereas pi ranges from 490 to 635 nm. For example, in this case we generally use fluorescence microscope, or confocal laser scanning microscope can be utilized in order to get convenient dimensions of the cells. Okay, so for example, we generally set the wavelength for the particular stain. Like for example, firstly we will set the wavelength for cyto9, in which the excitation and emission wavelength will be fixed, and after visualizing the pictures you will be going to another stain, that is pi, ranging from 490 to 635. And lastly we just merge both the images in order to visualize the exact image or exact intensity of the stain, whether it is giving green fluorescence in higher intensity or red fluorescence in higher intensity, indicating the viability of the cells. Okay, we will see the example in next slide, but currently we will be seeing that what actually happens when the cells are stained with cyto9 and pi. So you will see that during co-staining with pi and cyto9, cyto9 can enter all cells regardless of their membrane integrity. It binds both DNA and RNA, and it usually emits green fluorescence. Okay, while pi can only enter with compromised membranes binding to DNA and RNA and emit red fluorescent signals. Okay, so this is for green, and this is for red. It emits red fluorescent signal. Okay, talking about the affinity, with higher affinity to bind DNA and insufficient access to cyto9, pi replaces cyto9 when both stains are exposed to the same DNA, resulting in red fluorescent signal. Okay, for example, if we are talking about this and you have treated it with cyto9, it will emit green fluorescence. Okay, for example, if you are treating it with pi, it is going to give red fluorescence. But talking about the affinity, pi is generally having higher affinity to bind to the nucleic acid in comparison to cyto9. Okay, so if you are treating the DNA with both the stains in equal amount in 1:1 ratio, you will see that the red fluorescent intensity is higher in comparison to cyto9. Okay, as a result of coupling of these two DNA binding and membrane permeability dependent stains, red signals from cells are considered as dead and green signals as alive. Okay, for example, we are again taking two different stains, like I'm taking here one control and another one is treated. Either it can be bacterial cell, for example, or either it can be fungal cell. Okay, so I have worked with these two cells, that's why I'm explaining about them. Okay, so in control the cells are intact. Okay, whereas in treated the membranes are compromised. Okay, so for example, this is the situation and this is your DNA. Okay, this is generally a generalized diagram for just for understanding purpose. Okay, now I will be treating it with cyto9 and pi in equal ratio 1:1, and also I'm treating it with cyto9 and pi in 1:1 ratio. Okay, so what will happen in this case? In control's case, you will see that a green fluorescence is usually observed, because the cyto9 will be able to enter the cell, but pi will remain outside the cell. Okay, whereas in case of this, in treated cells, you will see that at a cyto9 fluorescent intensity or at cyto9 wavelength, you will see that a green emission is usually observed. Okay, and then at pi wavelength you will see that a red intensity is observed. Okay, at cyto9 wavelength green will be observed, at pi wavelength red will be observed. But when for actual image, means for actual image, like what is the actual status of the cells, like it is whether it is live or whether it is dead, we generally merge both the wavelength of cyto9 and pi in order to observe the status. For example, if it is treated and compromised membrane, with compromised membrane, you will see that the cells will appear with red fluorescent intensity, because already I have mentioned that pi is having higher affinity towards the nucleic acid in comparison to cyto9. Okay, so this is what is called as live dead staining. If green cells are appeared, then it is considered as a live cells, and if red fluorescence red cells are appearing, then it is considered that the cells are dead. Okay, so okay, we will understand it with a example by taking a research article. I will mention the citation in the comment section. You can use for your reference. Okay, so the paper itself is entitled with the Propidium iodide staining underestimates viability of adherent bacterial cells. In this case, they have used the cyto9 and pi stain in order to determine the viability of bacterial cells. Okay, they have studied the bacterial cells. They have taken the ratio of the stains in 1:1 ratio with a concentration of pi at 30 micromolar stock and 5 micromolar stock of cyto9. Okay, so generally what happens that if you are studying the viability, so in this case we generally centrifuge the bacterial cells, and after centrifugation we generally wash. Washing is important while observing the any staining. If you are going through any staining, you should wash your fungal cells or bacterial cells before the staining process. Okay, it generally cleans the debris out of the cells. Okay, so after washing we generally treat the cells with 1:1 stock solution of cyto9 as well as pi. Okay, the stain after adding the stains, we generally keep the samples for 15 to 30 minutes in darker condition. Okay, it should be foil covered, and even when you are adding the stains to the samples, it should be in dark condition. Okay, avoid light emission at the avoid light exposure to your samples. Okay, and incubate it in the dark at room temperature only. Okay, there is no specific temperature, we can just simply incubate it at room temperature. Talking about the image, you can see that they have shown the confocal laser scanning microscopy images of the bacteria, which is co-stained with pi as well as cyto9. Okay, now these images consist of A, B, C. Okay, all these three of the images have been taken at same frame. Okay, same frame. The slide is kept at a constant position. Okay, only the wavelength is different in each of the sections. Okay, for example, first we will see about the C section. In C sections you can see that they have set the pi wavelength, and you can see that all the cells are appearing red. Okay, means indicating that the cells are usually dead. In B section they have stained it with cyto9, indicating that most of the cells are still alive. Okay, so you can see live cells here. And in A section they have merged cyto9 and pi. Okay, so in A section you can see red cells as well as you can see green cells. Okay, so the red cells are damaged dead cells and the green cells are the live cells. Okay, they have also indicated it by arrows. You can see that the blue stained cells, sorry, the blue arrow indicating cells are dead cells, because in this case you can see red fluorescence. In this case you can see no fluorescence is observed, means no green cells have been observed, whereas in this case you can see red fluorescence. Okay, in this case you can see red fluorescence. Similarly, for live cells they have indicated by yellow arrow. You can see a green cell is appeared in this A section. Then in B section you can see the green cell, similar green cell at this position is stained green, whereas in this case you can see that the cell is usually lacking. Okay, so this is what we actually observe for the live dead staining. means at a particular or at a constant frame we see that what amount of cells have been dead and what amount of cells are live. Okay, and the merged picture, the final picture, gives us the actual representation of the cell viability. Okay, so this process, in the similar way, the processes can be utilized for fungal staining. If you are treating it with any kind of treatment, like for antibiotic or any of your treatment, then you can use this stain. Okay, also remember that when we go through most of the research articles, we see that they generally refer control set. That is one is control set, then one is your treated set, and another one is a positive control. One is negative control and another one is positive control. Like for example, in this case, if you can go through your research articles which prefer that this kind of antibiotic or this kind of compound is responsible for compromising the membrane of the microorganism, that particular compound can be used as a positive control, which will definitely reflect the efficacy of your treatment in comparison to the uh, positive control. Okay, so this was all about cyto9 pi staining for live dead viability. Okay, so if you still have any kind of doubt, you can ask in the comment section. If you have something to add to the protocol, definitely do share in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching.